go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Masters Fantasy Football League's podcast/YouTube show. Today, I'll be your host. I'm the Doc, you know me, and I'm here with, as always, Dynasty Owl. And we're going to just kind of do a brief little recap here of some of the highlights from the week 1/2 for some teams of preseason NFL games. Who kind of stuck out to us? All that good stuff. Obviously not putting too much stock into preseason games, but, taking everything with a grain of salt. Some good information was put out there in this week, I would say.
I love preseason football.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot of hope in preseason football.
Oh, yeah.
You can really convince yourself about guys in preseason football.
Yes. Confirmation bias in full effect.
Yes. And before we get started, it is draft season, folks. Keep that in mind. Because Masters Fantasy Football Leagues, we're running drafts every single night. We're right in the thick of it. Dynasty, redraft, doesn't matter. We're the premier destination for all your fantasy football needs. Come sign up for a draft. I might be running it. That's a perk, right? Not really, but, come sign up for a league. You will not regret it. It's the best time of the year. Get that team drafted now, and then just think about your squad for the next few weeks as the season approaches. But until then, we talk about week 1 of preseason, and I'll kick it over to Al. Let's see what he's got to say.
Sure, yeah, and I feel like we should maybe just start it off with probably like the biggest news for most of your average fans out there. I feel like Justin Fields like kind of shined, and a lot of namesake in Justin Fields. One of the early rookie quarterbacks. And yeah, he looked good in his first preseason game. Scored a couple of touchdowns, one rushing, one through the air. After the game, he said the game felt slow to him.
Yeah.
Which I want to point out was against the Dolphins' second-team defense. So I'd hope it
would feel slow. Yeah.
And to not to misquote him, he said compared to the Bears' defense in
practice.
Right.
Which, he did kind of. He made it seem a little better.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I thought he looked good. Sounds like he earned some reps with the first team of practice this week, so maybe there's a shot he starts week 1, which obviously would be impactful for fantasy football, especially in redraft. His redraft ADP, I believe, is pretty low. The doc could confirm that since he's running these drafts every single night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only looking at so many rounds, but yeah, I've yet to see him get picked in the first 2 rounds.
Come on, man, you don't stay for all 20.
Nah, I sometimes I like to look, but yeah, I would agree. At this point, I think you maybe start taking him late draft. Because it seems, they talked about Andy Dalton being the starter for however many months it's been now, but come on.
He ain't starting 16 games.
Yeah. Maybe 1.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. But I can't see it being much more than that.
Sure, yeah.
And also, I thought Tua looked pretty good.
Stick with that game.
Offensive line was a little shaky, but I thought Tua made some good throws, some good plays. And I know a lot of people are down on him after a subpar rookie season, but you got to keep in mind, this dude's coming off a big hip surgery last year, so you don't really expect him to even be back to 100% yet. I think this year will really be the year we see what Tua's got to offer in the NFL. He's got a great group of weapons, very underrated group of weapons, really. A lot of speed, too, so he might be able to put together some good games here.
Yeah. Maybe the next game we want to talk about, Denver, Minnesota.
Yes.
We saw some good things out of Denver. You want to?
Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? I've said multiple times that I think Teddy Bridgewater would beat out Drew Lock to be the starting quarterback. And watching that game, I think I'm on the Drew Lock side of the fence now.
Love it.
I tell you what, he looked a lot better. And I know it's preseason. Sure. I mean, like, who's he playing against, whatever. But he just looked to be in more command of the offense. He made some really good throws. That bomb to KJ Hamler was an absolute dime. I mean, I know he was wide open, but he made the throw, whereas in times past, I don't know that he makes that throw that easily. Just flick of the wrist like 55 yards on a dime. And, I mean, he showed off the arm talent quite a few times there. And again, my guy KJ Hamler, another one that really stuck out to me. The Broncos as a whole looked a lot better on offense than, I think a lot of people were expecting. So I like that a lot.
So I just want to start this by saying I probably should be embarrassed to say it, but I'm not. And this just kind of shows how sick into football we are and just really how no lives. I was literally on my honeymoon, just got married in St. Lucia, out of the country, and I was on the NFL app trying to I've got the NFL Game Pass. I was trying to watch this preseason game live, but the NFL app would not work. Because I was in a different country, it would not let me stream a game.
Wow.
So I was following like the play-by-play of this preseason game just on my honeymoon, just cause. And I saw the Drew Lock throw to Hamler, and I was like, then I found
that was like the first time I had heard from Alec all week, where he was like, oh wow, Broncos look good.
And then I found some highlight clips on Bleacher Report of the big plays. But so anyway, obviously, box scores are kind of, I can't watch every preseason game, so I like looking at the box score. And it's interesting because Bridgewater's stats look almost just as good. So Locke was 5 of 7, 150 yards, 2 TDs. Bridgewater was 7 of 8, 74 yards, 1 TD. But what's crazy, I saw something by Pro Football Focus today where Drew Lock, even though those stats sound super close, Drew Lock was like the 6th best quarterback of the week, I think, for preseason. And Teddy Bridgewater was like all the way down almost at 30, if I remember right. So just probably a big discrepancy in how they, grade some of the throws and all that kind of thing, which I think just backs up to your point of what you saw with your eye. Drew Lock really did look better.
Yeah, he definitely looked better than I've seen him look in the past. And at the end of the day, I thought Teddy Bridgewater was just too safe. Like, I thought Drew Lock is too wild and erratic at times. Bridgewater would be the safe guy to come in and do it. Now, Drew Lock seems to have a little more control of himself. Add in the fact that he has that natural arm talent. He can do a lot of things that Teddy Bridgewater just simply can't. And I think now that he's put those two things together, at least through 1 week of preseason football, I feel a lot better about Drew Lock. And honestly, deep sleeper, maybe I look at him. Because at the end of the day, we all kind of liked him as a sleeper quarterback a year ago just because of the weapons.
The
weapons are even better this year with Cortland Sutton back.
Yeah, so. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, who looked good, which we talked about.
And not to mention, they play teams like the Chiefs twice a year. You're going to have to sling the ball around quite a bit against them to keep up. And the Chargers, too, are going to be scoring a lot. So, I mean, they're going to have to score.
I agree. Yeah, I like it.
Kellen Mond also, he looked pretty good in the pieces I saw as well. Mm-hmm. He had some decent runs, too.
By that point, I'd given up trying to stream the game.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So let's see, kind of going down the list here, any other games that kind of stuck out?
Trevor Lawrence, I thought, looked pretty good in limited action.
Mm-hmm. Tim Tebow did not, was cut.
No, poor Tim Tebow got put on his butt a few times. That was tough to watch.
From the little bit I was able to follow that game, Marvin Jones seemed to have decent rapport with Trevor Lawrence.
Definitely.
Did all their I said, did DJ Shark play? Did
I don't recall.
Chenault played.
I think so. Yeah.
Saw him in the back score, I think. But yeah,
I know we had talked about Ramondre Stevenson and who's going to be the next James Robinson episode.
Yeah.
But
so
obviously Ramondre Stevenson had a nice little game.
Yeah, pulling up the box score.
Showed off the power with that short TD. Showed off the long speed with a 90-yarder.
Yeah. So 10 carries, 127 yards, 2 TDs. Obviously, 90 of those 127 yards came off one carry, but still 9 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown on the rest of his work. Not a bad day at all for Ramondre Stevenson. No other huge takeaways really from that way. Do you know anything about Wilkerson from New England? I just saw he kind of lit up the box score. 9 targets, 6 catches, 39 yards was their leading receiver in terms of targets. But longest reception was 8 yards. But I don't know. Maybe somebody keep an eye on in deep leagues, but probably nothing. Mac Jones, he looked decent.
Yeah. Mac Jones.
Actually, I watched little Mac Jones highlights from St. Lucia because what else are you going to do on your honeymoon besides watch Mac Jones? Yeah.
Might as well just see Mac Jones slinging around a little bit.
To be fair, I'd like to point out it rained some there. There's a tropical storm, so I was stuck in the hotel room for some of it. So
Alex not super crazy.
Yeah.
It was reasonable. It was raining.
Yeah.
I think overall the rookie quarterbacks I thought looked good. Overall.
Yeah. Trey Lance had some good, some bad. I think he was like 5 of 14, so stats don't look great. But I mean, had that one like play action rollout deep ball look good.
Yeah, showed off the talent there, but obviously got to shirt up.
Kind of what you'd expect to see. Yeah. My guy Rondale Moore, he did decent a little bit. He played. I think I saw a stat. He had like the most targets per route run for any receiver this past week in preseason. Probably doesn't matter at all, but got a couple targets early.
It's got to mean something.
Yeah. Like I said, this is where confirmation bias kicks in. You just look for any good news on the guys you like, and you throw it out there.
There you go.
Scrolling down.
You want to say something about Corey Davis, right?
Oh, yeah. So, again, stats don't look crazy. 4 targets, only 2 catches for 18 yards. But I think I saw, all 4 of those targets obviously came with Zach Wilson early. I know Elijah Moore did not play. He has a quad injury, and we love Elijah Moore. But just kind of good to see that instant rapport with Corey Davis. And
right.
Even though, like I said, love Elijah Moore, but he's kind of more of a for sure slot receiver. Corey Davis, more of a legit X receiver. Jamison Crowder, obviously kind of more of that slot role as well. So I really think, if Corey Davis can just establish himself as a true number one with Zach Wilson, I think that'll be, great for him. On top of that, for you guys who are watching the top 100 players, if you don't know, it's a list of the top 100 players, but it's 100% voted on by the players, which makes it a little interesting. And Corey Davis actually cracked the top 100, which a little surprising to most just because. But, it's just, I think, good to remind yourself who Corey Davis is. I mean, this guy's a top 10 pick, was phenomenal at Western Michigan. I mean, we loved him in college. We thought he was a legit prospect. Struggled to stay on the field early, had some, foot issues, hamstring issues, I think, his first couple years in the league. But, last year, he played pretty good opposite of A.J. Brown, and obviously I don't think he's better than A.J. Brown, but, I mean, there were times where, I mean, they looked pretty equal 1A, 1B out there last year, went on the field, both healthy. So, yeah, I think Corey Davis really could have a career year here and kind of rejuvenate and, retrack his whole career here.
Yeah, I like that.
So, yeah, I like that.
Anything else? Any other notes or notable performances? I feel like we hit the big ones.
Yeah, I think we hit the big ones. If you think of anything else that we didn't touch on, throw it in the comments.
Notable, even if it's something you think is notable.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's good. There's little performances here and there, like the Ramondre Stevenson performance.
Yeah.
Late in the game, big run to close the game out. But
sure.
Those kinds of things mean something.
And despite what you may think, I did not get to watch every single snap of preseason week 1 during my honeymoon. It just didn't happen.
But luckily, week 2 of preseason is the new week 3.
True. Oh yeah.
So we actually should see a little more starters, a little more action from the actual guys that we're going to be seeing coming up soon. So,
and I have no excuse not to watch every single snap of preseason.
Now's the perfect time to watch everything.
Yeah.
So, exciting times. We should be getting a little more information. Maybe we do a week 2 recap. But yeah, we just kind of hitting on some little notes here and there. Who looked good, who didn't. It was basically who looked decent.
Yeah.
Again, you're going off not a whole lot.
Did anyone look bad? Can we throw anyone under the butt? Who stuck out as bad? Anyone?
I don't think anyone looked bad. I can't think of anyone that looked actually bad.
There's got to be somebody. I'm
sure someone looked not good.
Leave it in the comments. Who looked bad?
Joe Flacco looked good.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Dwayne Haskins looked decent.
Yeah.
But anyways, I could go through
somebody
this all
tell
day.
us somebody who looked flat out bad. Leave it in the comments.
If you find someone that did horrible last week in preseason, drop that in the comments.
And then get ready because I got to go off in week 2 of the preseason because that's how this works.
Exactly. So we'll be back for week 2 of preseason. Toss a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Come join the Masters family. Sign up for a league, whether it be Dynasty, whether it be Redraft. We're doing leagues every single night already, all the way up until football season starts. So, yeah, come join, come draft, get that team ready. Football season's coming. So, until then, we'll see you next week. Enjoy week 2 of the preseason.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bang.
Boom. Nice.
Good night, Oakland.